Most of the right moves so far belong to Cleveland State and the Vikings, leading in our championship game in the Horizon League 35-24, 15-45 for the game. And Alyssa Pittman, a 73% shooter, is set to step to the line. She has 5 points in the game to this point.
Butler needs to try to make a run right here. You don't want to wait until the end of the game to try to make a miraculous comeback. I mean, it would be great, but you want to try to do a push earlier in the half.
Pittman leaves 1 at the free throw line. The deficit remains 10.
And I'd love to see Butler get up a little closer, try to cause some turnovers, make Cleveland State go backdoor and get some backdoor goal. That's a good pass right there.
Really good penetration by Angel Roque, and when they get inside the defense, pretty difficult to stop.
They are, because they keep their head up. They don't just throw the ball at the basket. They keep their head up and find open players.
Let's see if Butler can get an answer. The outside's been difficult until that point, as Susan Lester gets the 3.
Susan Lester's been a great spark for them. She's getting offensive rebounds, making threes.
Butler had 7 threes in a row to start the game the other night against Detroit.
And Butler's in a 2-3 zone because they don't want Cleveland State to get in there, and Roque does it anyways.
One thing about senior leadership, and Cleveland State has 4 seniors in the starting lineup. They recognize where the holes or the seams are of the defense.
They do, and each senior, and Angel Roque, Jessica Roque, Stephanie Crosley, and of course Kailey Klein, they've all impacted the game in some way.
Here's Roque, almost recognizing a lane and then backs it out. 3-ball Klein, not this time. Crosley, can she save it? Great pass inside to Klein. Great movement by Crosley, and then Klein to cut without the basketball. And Butler, now with its largest deficit of the game, gets a timeout. John LaCroix, the commissioner of the Horizon League, will join us when we return here on ESPNU. Hello, Commissioner. Good to see you again.
Hello, how are you?
How are you?
Good. Seat's nice and warm for you.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You guys got me?
Yes, sir.
Great. How are you, Renee?
Good.
Good. Good to see you. Guys, appreciate it. I'm glad you didn't catch me in my swimming trunks.
Welcome back to Championship Week, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Cleveland State 41 and Butler 28, 14 minutes left in regulation. John LaCroix, in his 18th year as commissioner of the Horizon League, nice enough to spend some time with us during the course of our second half. Well, I know the folks here in Green Bay wanted to see their team in the finals. Do you have any feel for where their future might be in postseason play?
Jim, first of all, thanks for having me on, and I certainly hope they're in the NCAA tournament. I wouldn't expect that you would hear me say anything else. Certainly, all year long, they have been our best team, and they have set the bar here in the Horizon League for women's basketball, and I think they have the bona fides to be in the NCAA tournament. And I would argue, and argue strongly, that certainly they're one of the 34 best teams in the country after the AQs get settled out.
I know Renee would second that motion. She thought the same thing when we spoke in the first half. How much of a challenge is it for mid-majors to get to what you call automatic bids, or at least an automatic plus an at-large?
Jim, it's a real challenge, and I'll tell you why. It is so difficult for a program like Green Bay to schedule. For them to get good home and homes, if you will, one year and then the next, with what we would call some of the power conferences, it's very, very difficult. Schools do not want to come into this facility and play Green Bay. Generally, they'll leave with a loss, and that's a real challenge, not only for Green Bay, but for a lot of teams on our women's side in the Horizon League.
Cleveland State with the ball, protecting a 41-28 lead. Commissioner, as you look at the play in the league with the women and the way these two programs have developed nicely, are you impressed?
Well, I'll tell you what. Anytime you have a 4 seed in our league beat a 1 seed, you have to be pleased about that in terms of the progress the rest of our teams are making. It wasn't too long ago where a Green Bay was pretty dominant and a 4 could not beat a Green Bay 1-seeded team in our league.
A lot of discussion across the country about expansion, especially with the Power 6 conferences. You added Valpo a couple of seasons ago. We spoke last week about a lot of schools being interested in the Horizon League. Do you see more expansion for the conference as we speak?
Jim, I'll tell you what, if expansion occurs, I think it would probably be maybe more at the BCS level right now. Now, could that trickle down and affect the Horizon League? Certainly, but I like where we are right now with our 10.
Cleveland State with the ball, and Klein going to work inside. What a first and second half she's had in this game.
She has. I mean, she's just done it. It hasn't been miraculous shots and miraculous points. She's just been a flow in the game, and she's just made an impact in the game.
Our venue today is the Crest Event Center in Green Bay, Wisconsin, on the campus of UWGB. What do you think about this facility? It's relatively new, and most people you talk to love it here.
Jim, I get the good fortune of traveling a lot all over the country, and I will tell you, I'm so impressed with this facility. It was a pleasure for me to see it come out of the ground, and it is truly one of the fine women's basketball venues. I don't know what you think, Renee. You've seen a lot of them. I think it's one of the best in the country.
I have. It is one of the best, definitely. And for them to get their fan base that they do, it makes it even better.
John LeCrone, the commissioner of the Horizon League, is joining us. Speaking of traveling across the country, you were part of the NCAA tournament selection group for 5 years. You've been a couple of years removed from it now. And as we take a look at tournament possibilities, a lot of people feel that eventually ESPN will become the home of the men's tournament. Will expansion follow, in your opinion, for the tournament?
Yeah, I think they're connected, Jim. There's no question in my mind that if we are going to go to a new television partner, we'll probably have to go to an expanded field. And I think that's the context of the discussion right now, is 96 in the context of a new media partner.
Here are the Horizon League Women's Finals as we reach the 12-minute mark of the game. Cleveland State by 13, 4 to shoot, and crawls in a cross-court pass to Garland, who knocks it down.
Oh, that hurts when you play good defense for 28 seconds and someone knocks down a tough shot.
So impressed with the job Kate Peterson has done with the Cleveland team, and Beth as well, and to have our 2 and 4 seeds in the championship game, it does speak of our parity a bit.
Both of these programs just a handful of wins when these two coaches arrived on the scene.
That's right, and if you look at these two coaches, they're 2 of our more veteran coaches in the league and really doing an outstanding job. I'll also like to look at their team GPAs, and they're both outstanding. You've got to mention Green Bay in that one as well.
That's pretty significant in this league. Commissioner, thank you for joining us.
Jim, thanks for having me on.
Pleasure to have John LeCrone as our special guest here on our broadcast on ESPNU. 11-18 for the game. And Klein has had a field day today for Cleveland State.